Hi, I'm Flynn.
Kellock.
Oma.
Mart.
Shreya.
And I'm your DM, Ethan. Welcome to Venture Forth. Previously, you all had traveled to the town of Blackpool in search for answers about these crystals that you guys have been traveling with. You guys had heard that they had possibly come from a warehouse over here from March and Olma. They had a bit of a scuffle, it seems, over in Blackpool, and that was where the crystals were originally discovered. So you guys headed to Blackpool to discover a pile of ash where the warehouse used to be. And digging through the wreckage, Flynn had an interesting encounter with an old dwarven man who seemed to know things about the future and be sort of a fortune teller. He pointed Flynn to a tavern sort of down on the opposite end of town. And after you guys had talked with the barkeep there, she had told you guys that you could stay for the night and sort of rest and catch your breath before you guys headed to a secondary warehouse just outside of Blackpool, where all of the things that had been salvaged, possible clues as to the origins of these crystals, had been moved to once the original one burned down. You guys left the town of Blackpool after some of you had a good night's rest, others of you did not. But you guys left the town of Blackpool and began to wade into the swamp. The air is thick and damp, and you guys smell rot and mildew just about everywhere. And even as it becomes daytime, you guys can feel the day is starting, but you just barely can see any sunlight coming through this canopy of trees overhead. You guys hear frogs croaking, and you hear insects buzzing all around you. And as you guys continued walking, Shreya, you spotted a cloaked figure dashing about 100 feet, maybe 200 feet away from you guys, running parallel to you. After a little bit of investigation, you couldn't really find out who it was, but you guys came across this deep black onyx staff stuck in the mud with 5 golden rings surrounding it. After approaching it, you guys felt this deep gong in the back of your heads, and some of you took some psychic damage as these golden rings dropped from the staff and made their way into the mud. Around you, the mud began to boil and rise up and create these constructs out of mud and twigs and dirt. And as they began to form and solidify even more, you guys began to notice that they took some very specific shapes. One of them took the shape of a drow woman who is standing there very regally in these very nice robes that she's got draped all around her. You see another one forming around you guys. Little Goliath girl who has a lot of features very similar to March. And just this little inconspicuous Goliath girl. You see another one that's formed that is the visage of Farlane, who you guys had encountered not a couple days previous. You see another one forming that is a young elven woman who shares some similar traits to Melleru Cardinal. You can notice sort of the long ear shape is very distinct, and the hair comes down in a draping that's very similar to Melleru. You see the last figure bubbling up and forming out of this mud, and it seems to be that of a human man. A short goatee, some short hair sort of ruffled in a messy pattern, and he's got these long regal robes on him as well. As these forms solidify in the mud, they begin to lunge towards you, and I'm going to have you guys all roll initiative.
Oh man!
Oh boy.
Oh, big good.
Hold that up.
Okay, that one's going out. that one's done for the day.
Okay, well, let's start with that one. Kellic.
That is a 6.
6. Okay. Next up, March.
13.
Shreya, what did you get?
I got a 5.
5. Not too
Boy.
strong today.
Pretty good stuff,
Oma.
guys.
10.
10. Yeah. Keeping
We're
it below
all-
15. And Flynn.
Oh, I think I'm gonna break
Bring it
that
home.
because I got a 23.
Bring it home. Okay, so as these creatures bubble up and take these solidified shapes, now a lot clearer as to what their forms are, you see them lunge towards you. Flynn, what are you going to do? You got the first reaction.
Kaylin? What? And I'm gonna look around at the other ones. Can I try and discern what's going on? Like, I just saw these rise out of the ground and solidify, and they look like the real thing, right?
Yeah, just devoid of any color. It's this sort of like dark gray, almost sick-looking mud. It's not like a vibrant brown where things grow out of this dirt. It's like a gray that's devoid of all color.
Do I know if this is some kind of spell that I've heard of or magical effect?
Yeah, make an Arcana check.
Okay. Ooh, 7.
7. Obviously not the real thing. Obviously constructs made out of mud and dirt and twigs and that sort of thing. Obviously not the real thing. Not exactly sure where they came from, though.
Okay.
It's probably from the staff and the gold rings and all of that, but nothing beyond that.
Right. Oh, that's right. There's that there too. The one that's closest to me, can you describe? I can't really tell what it looks like.
Yeah, so the one closest to you has taken the form of a very regal-looking drow woman in possibly some ceremonial robes.
All right. And they are running to attack us.
I wouldn't even describe it as running. It's more just like sloshing in the mud. Almost the bottom half of their legs and their feet are lost as the mud is just dragging along with them.
I'm gonna go hit it. I guess I'm gonna go hit the one that's closest to me. I'm gonna go up and poke it with this pokey side of the sword.
So that's it's 10 feet away from you, so you can easily run up. Make an attack roll.
All right. There's a short sword, 19 to hit.
19 definitely hits. Yeah, roll your damage.
12 points of piercing damage.
Nice.
Guys, what are we doing with these?
Right. And as you drive your sword into it, you can see like the mud sort of caves in and it almost slows and just stops the creature for a second. It doesn't really have any sort of reaction to it like a normal living thing would.
Oh, no.
It truly does just seem like a construct. Flynn, is that the end of your turn?
Yes.
Okay. Next up, you guys see in front of you the older human man rushes towards you guys, and you can see as he moves towards you, he begins to move faster and faster and faster, and his body almost begins to sink back down into the mud before it then rises up right in front of March, and rising up is going to attempt to throw a punch and sort of an upper hook right at March. So March, that is going to be a 16 to hit.
No, sir. I don't know you.
No,
Go
sir?
away, mud.
Okay. It is going to take a second swing, a second punch at you. That's going to be a 7 to hit. So that's not going to hit either. As it just rushes up and this mud sort of is just sloshing at you. And even though it doesn't hit you, as the punches are swinging around, some of the mud becomes loose from its arm and just sort of splatters across your chest and face. With that, March, it is your turn. You get to retaliate if you'd like. Remembering you still have Olma on your shoulders.
Alma, do something about it. Do something about it. Really quick, just for my record.
Now is a bad time to cover your eyes, right?
Yeah. Almost just like, sorry. Just so I have a better understanding, you're saying there's a drow woman, there's a mini Goliath, Farlane, Mellaroo, and then a human man. Is that correct?
Not specifically Mellaroo, but yes, someone who looks like a
okay,
younger
yeah,
sort of,
I just wrote down.
Yeah, you got it.
Okay,
Yeah.
Thank you. And I assume that I am facing this mud situation that is happening that just tried to punch me, correct?
Yes. So standing right in front of you is just like it looks like an old man who's just been caked in mud.
Okay. I do have one on my back. I'm gonna take my warhammer and I'm just gonna try and make a swing at this dude. And then.
Okay. I will say your attacks currently are going to be at disadvantage.
Okay.
With a child's legs draping over you. I hate to do it, but
I'm not a child.
I gotta say.
God, how dare you?
Throw her at him.
Honestly, it was like, can I throw Alma?
Projectile. Oh my goodness.
So if I attack him, if I'm DM approved, great. I'll look up. If I don't attack and I move, is he going to have a chance to attack me then?
He will have an attack of opportunity. Yes.
And then I'm still just going to try and mess him up with my warhammer. I might as well give it a try, right?
Might as well. Go for it. Yeah, roll to attack.
Let's see what happens. And we're saying this is at disadvantage, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. That is 14.
14 hits.
Woo!
Nice.
Okay. This is going to be a dumb question, but when you're never mind. No. Sorry, I was going to ask if you're at disadvantage, do you then do disadvantage for damage? Is that the dumbest question you've ever been asked?
That's just to hit. No, not at all. That's just to hit.
Like I was asking it, I was
question.
like, this is dumb, this is dumb, this is dumb.
No, once you actually make contact, then the damage is full. So, roll your damage.
Okay, that's 6 bludgeoning.
6 bludgeoning, nice.
And I suppose that if I wanted to move, he's going to get an attack of opportunity on me.
Yeah, probably.
Okay, then I'm...
You never know. He might choose to not take it.
Looks like a mini... Okay. I'm going to just... what I want to do almost, which is going to not be the best thing because it's going to turn my back to this dude, I just want to kind of in a way I want to shift to see everyone in my periph. So let me rephrase this. I don't necessarily...
Yeah, you can definitely do that without moving.
Yeah, I want to be able to see and kind of take in these muddy things and try and just...
For sure.
Embed them in
you can definitely do that without moving.
But I also want to be slightly looking at the mini Goliath with just wonder about my face, and that is it. And then I'm done.
Okay. Awesome. With that, the drow woman, seeing Flynn rush up, not having really taken much of a reaction to being stabbed, is going to try and punch you.
Oh my gosh, I thought you were going to say he was going to run away from me. I'm here and I'm a threat.
No, it raises up its 2 arms, and as you look at its arms, it sort of balls its hands into fists, and you can see some more mud moves up its body off of its shoulder, down its arm onto its fist, and its fists sort of enlarge a little bit as it takes 2 swings at you. Let me see what those are going to be.
Right.
First one's going to be 11 to hit.
No, that doesn't hit.
And the next one is going to be a 17 to hit.
Just hits.
Just hits. Okay. That is going to be 8 points of bludgeoning damage as the first fist swings and misses, and then the second one just hits you with sort of a side jab.
a threat. I'm a threat.
All right. With that, next up is Oma. You are on top of March's shoulders.
I'm below a tree based on the map.
Yes, you are.
If I stand on March's shoulders, can I reach the tree limbs?
Yeah. I'll say you can reach some of the bottom branches, yeah.
Okay, I would like to, having seen a human man covered in mud, but not a human man, take a couple of swings at March. I'm going to stand up on March's shoulders. I'm going to scream, Kellic, what are these things? And I'm going to reach up and jump to try to reach the limb right above my head and swing myself around it and on top of it.
Okay. You can make an acrobatics check for that.
14.
A 14. Yeah, you swing up there. It takes a little bit of effort, but you get up there just fine, and you sort of plant your feet down on this stable branch as you are now up there.
Okay. Do I have another action, or has that taken my entire action?
That has taken, I'm going to say that's taken your entire movement. That has not taken your action or your bonus action.
Okay, I would like to... Oh, there's so many creatures, but I don't know what they are yet. I want to hold a firebolt until Kellic tells me what they are.
Okay. Noted.
And I will hold it to aim for the closest one to me at the time that I get that answer.
Okay. Awesome. That being the end of your turn. Next up, the young elven woman, who looks like Mellaroo, is going to rush up right next to this old man, and is also going to make a couple swings at March.
So rude.
That first one is going to be an 18 to hit.
No.
I hate you. That one is going to be a 22 to hit.
That'll do it.
That'll do it. Okay. That is going to be 5 points of bludgeoning damage.
Okay. I'm just gonna kind of go and sort of like bring my hand away, like, but it's mud.
March!
Ow.
And actually, interesting enough, as it's sort of swinging at you, and as it sort of clocks you with this one punch, you notice it's like, it feels a little bit tougher than mud, and you look down as it pulls its fist away, and it seems to have like coalesced a couple of rocks onto its knuckles to sort of give it a little bit more punching power. But that is going to be the end of its turn. Next up, Kellic. What are you going to do?
Is my detect magic spell still active?
Remind me when you cast that?
I cast it pretty much once we arrived at the staff in the ground to identify what kind of magic it was.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's still up.
Can I detect? It sunk. The thing disappeared, but is it? Can I detect something from it? Can I follow that trace?
Yeah. So the golden rings sort of fell down the staff, disappeared into the mud, and the staff disintegrated from the top down. And with your detect, can you detect the location of magic items?
I can,
even
within
if you
30
can't
feet.
see them. Okay.
Yeah.
It's
It's blocked by 1 foot of stone, 1 inch of common metal, a thin sheet of lead, or 3 foot of wood or dirt. 3 feet.
Well, these things are not 3 feet thick, so you do pick up 5 distinct magic signatures from each of these. It seems that each of the rings are still intact and within the chest of each of these.
Observing this, looking from one to the next I'll look up at Toma in the trees and say, they're connected to the staff, to the rings from the staff. There's some kind of a combination of the whatever magic was in the staff, the summoning magic, and the earth around us.
So they're bad, and kill them? Do we have to kill what's inside of them?
They're objects, Alma. They're made of mud.
So it's not killing them.
Destroy them, Alma.
Got it.
All right, Oma, you're releasing your firebolt? Okay.
Yeah, but there's a different one closer to me right now.
Yeah, so the young elven woman rushed up and sort of placed herself in between you and the old man. So now she is the closest one. So
okay, I'm
you can
aiming
make that attack
right
roll.
for the chest.
Okay, go for it.
21.
21 hits, yeah.
One point of fire damage.
Okay, nice.
Take that.
Well, nice shot anyway.
I don't know if this is doing anything.
Actually, as you say that, you look down and you can see where your firebolt hit. It hit it square on the chest, but that fire seemed to harden the mud and sort of zap the moisture away from where it was and sort of create this sort of harder shell of mud right there on that shoulder.
I don't know if that's bad or good.
You don't know yet.
And I still have an action.
Yes, you do.
Can I see where the ring is in the drow woman mud monster?
Yeah, you can detect it's like just square in her chest.
Okay. I would like to approach it and attempt to reach in and grab it.
Okay. All right, you are running up.
As I trudge through the mud.
Oh,
Okay.
hi.
I'm going to have you make a strength check for me.
Oh. My best
Chad,
check.
you can do this.
No, it's a 7.
So as you run up, you charge at this thing and you try and plunge your hand deep into the chest of this, and your hand reaches forward and sinks about a quarter of an inch deep and just is not reaching in any further than that.
Well,
and you are not able to access it. No.
I will look into this thing's eyes, which I what does its visage look like?
It looks like just a regal drow woman.
Does it have pupils? Yeah. What is the actual expression?
Expression completely blank. From you coming up and attempting to reach into it with Flynn having stabbed it, there doesn't seem to be any sort of reaction apart from the mud moving around in response to these attacks.
Unsettling. That's my turn.
Okay, that is the end of your turn. Next up, the one that has formed to look like Farlane is also going to run up, and it is going to run up, and it's going to stay sort of 15 feet away from you guys, and it is going to sort of come to this halt, and it's going to sort of sink a little bit deep into the mud, and it's going to reach its right hand down into the mud right beside it, and you see it rears its shoulder back, and it follows through from the mud down below, and it chucks this massive rock from beneath the mud and throws it up at Shry.
Oh no!
So Shry, you are flying, and all of a sudden you see this rock being hurled in your direction. That's going to be a 7 to hit.
All right. Oh no, that
Okay.
glances off. That does not hit.
You look over and you see this mud creature that's sort of that's got the resemblance of Farlane, and you look over and just in time to see this rock being hurled at you, and you're able to dodge just out of the way.
It looked like you. Why would you do this to me?
All right. Next up, Shreya, you get to say something back. What do you want to do?
I look down at the resemblance of Farlane from this level of being in the sky and looking down. Can I recognize this creature as friend or foe?
It just hurled a rock at you. Probably not.
Probably
friend.
not friend. So.
Yeah, you see these things. It doesn't seem like they're angry at all. There's no real expression. It's just simply attack.
So I'm going to make my way overhead of the being that resembles Farlane, and I'm going to mutter under my breath. Oh, it's evening, right? Just time check.
It's actually just about
it's noon, so the opposite.
It's just about noon. Yeah, you guys had left Blackpool in the morning, and you guys had headed out, traveled for about half a day.
Okay. Having seen, I suddenly get this burst of confidence as I watched this. I would have seen almost Fireball, right?
Yes.
So my mind traces back to having meditated with Olma by the fire in our last hours in Addersfeld. And in my mind, I think back to the words that she told me and and I start breathing very deeply and close my eyes, and a remembrance of every tiny little spark and flame comes rushing through my body, almost as if the DNA of fire itself is suddenly like shooting out into every cell in my body. I reach under my wing and I toss my staff up into the air, and in one motion with my other hand, I sprinkle the staff. I sprinkle it with the lava dust, the hardened lava dust component that I got at one of the magic shops. And as I do, and as I mutter, Ilduria, rain fire upon this imposter. The staff turns into a flaming blade, and I'm going to dive down and try to drive this flaming blade into that mud creature.
Damn.
Do not mess with Shreya.
No kidding.
Okay, so yeah, you fly down. Make that attack roll.
Alrighty. Easy hit. Oh no.
Don't pretend to be his friends.
It's a 4.
4 does not hit, unfortunately. As cool as that was, you swoop down, you swing, and this thing like sort of just turns its shoulder, like nothing dramatic. It simply does precisely the movement to get out of the way, nothing more, nothing less. And then it sort of sloshes back into place once you finish your swing.
All right, I'm still holding the thing. And now I guess I'm in front of it.
Right. What spell was that, Shreya? That you
that
cast
is
specifically?
Flame Blade, and it lasts about 10 minutes.
Flame Blade. Okay, awesome. Next up, the last of these mud creatures to not go yet. The little mini March, the mini Goliath girl. She is going to run past this tree, and she's going to run over towards where Flynn and Kellic are. And she's going to run up, and Flynn, all of a sudden, right behind you, you hear this slosh of mud. And as you just look over your shoulder, you see this Goliath girl taking 2 swings at you. So that first one is going to be... That's going to be a 22 to hit.
I'm going to use my reaction to raise my hand up and cast shield as the barrier goes up.
Okay.
Even though that doesn't That's not enough. But I said it, so I did it. Crap.
Oh, no.
It looked cool, but it still hits. Crap.
So you turn around, you see it, you throw up the shield, and right as your arm is moving up, her fist just swings and crests right over the barrier that you're forming and clocks you across the face.
The little Goliath girl is still bigger than Flynn.
She is a Goliath, so she is actually a pretty good size. That is going to be 4 points of bludgeoning damage as this fist hits you right across the face. That second one is going to be a 21 to hit.
Are you kidding me? Yeah,
Gosh.
it still hits with shield up. That exactly hits with shield up. Cool.
That's going to be another 4 points of damage.
Yeah, cool. I'm a threat.
Okay, so that was 8 points total.
Yeah, got it.
All right. So you guys all in combat with these mud monsters. Flynn and Kellic, you guys look over at the drow woman standing right in front of you, and you can see she's sort of half lopped off in the torso from where Flynn had driven his sword into it, and you could see that there's a bit of damage there, but as you look, you can see the mud begins to coalesce back into its form, and it begins to vibrate and shake, and it drops down back into the mud, completely disappearing from in front of you.
Hey.
And after a second or two, it pops back up again from the mud as it's boiling. But then, in a space right next to it, the mud begins to boil even more as it duplicates
No.
into a second drow woman.
Does it still look like it's injured? Or does it look fine now?
Did that seal off?
It looks like both of these have healed a little bit, but neither of them are at full health. It seems like the duplication has healed them a little bit, but not to their full capacity. Okay. That is that. Notably, the one that looks like the young elf and the one that looks like the old man, they took their damage, but they are not duplicating. They're not duplicating or healing. So, next up, top of the order.
Does
Flynn.
the duplicate? It doesn't have a ring though in it, right? Does the ring duplicate?
The ring has duplicated.
my
You now sense
Oh,
a sixth magical presence coming from the chest of this other creature.
Well, great. There goes shield as it fades. Man, I turned
I just shake my head disapprovingly.
I don't know. It worked fine last time. And I see the duplication, and I'm like, oh, man. And I pull my sword up, and I rub my fingers together, and they turn red as the red tattoo glows. And I rub them across the sword as it sparks and lights the sword aflame in this green wreath of flame. And I'm going to come down with an attack on one of the drow that duplicated. The one that's closer to me,
Okay.
I guess.
Okay, the one that's closer to you. So they both sort of sunk down. It's at this point impossible to tell even if there is such thing as an original at this point. You swing at the one right in front of you.
Stab it, yeah. All right.
Yeah.
It is a good roll. Total of 20.
Total of 20 hits, yeah.
Okay, so this spell. Normal effects. Okay. So now that they're 5 feet next to each other, I roll damage for the original, which is 10 points of piercing. As I poke it into that one with the fire on the blade, I then kind of raise my hand up and grasp it, and it's just in the middle of the air. I just use my hand to kind of like wave towards the other enemy, and you see the fire jump off of the blade and strike into the other duplicate, the other drow, as that one takes some fire damage. So
Okay.
it takes spellcasting modifier, which is something. 2. I think it's 2. Yeah. So it takes 2 points of fire damage. As I like wave my hand over towards that one, and you see the fire on the blade disperses from it and just crashes into the one right next to it.
All right, and as you see this fire envelop the form, you see in a very similar fashion to the other one, though you probably couldn't see it from this distance, the mud begins to harden around its shoulder where it was just hit by the fire, and you can see this hardened mud then begin to crack as it looks probably a little bit less stable, and you probably did a little bit more damage than you would have done normally.
An answer.
Interesting. Question for you. I'm not sure if this is something I could do. Can I action surge and do another green flame blade? I could just do it again, right? I can just cast again, and I can just use that action to cast it again.
I believe so, unless anyone wants to correct me.
Yeah, I don't. That's the
I'm going to
question
rule
of,
that
like,
right
can
now,
you
and
do
I'm going to
two
say
spells?
yes. That's going to be my rule. Yes.
I definitely don't know any difference.
Yeah, I think it's just a full action. Okay, so seeing that, I'll be like, oh, fire good. And I'm gonna aim. I'm gonna action surge. So I take a few quick breaths and I like regain my composure. I'm gonna come down and try and stab the one. I'll run my fingers across, get the flame back on the blade, and I'm gonna go for an attack on the one that has the hardened, cracked clay. I'm gonna try and stab at it with the sword.
Okay, go for it. Make an
As
attack
I do
roll.
green flame blade again. And that is really good. That's 23.
Yeah, a 23 hits.
So I'll do damage to that one that just took the fire damage. That's max. That's huge. That's 13 points of fire damage to the, or piercing damage to the one that I just hit with the fire. And then I will again take my hand and then just kind of thrust it towards the other one. And that one takes 2 points of fire damage as the fire leaves my blade and crashes into that one.
Okay. Awesome. That was 2 points of fire damage?
Yes, 2 points to the one that I originally hit last time.
Yeah, once again, that fire seems to be, enveloping its torso. Yeah. You can see it's beginning to crack and almost chip away at this point.
And after that, I kind of dropped to one knee with my hand on my knee and was like, Kel, use fire. And I slow my breathing and stand up as I cast Second Wind. And that's my turn.
Okay. All right. Next up is the old human man. Yeah, he is going to... He's just sort of going to, slosh around and not leave your radius, March, but just sort of slosh to the other side of you and just sort of get into this flanking... Exactly. Get into this flanking position with you, March. So... That first attack is going to be a 15 to hit.
No, sir.
And that's a natural 1 on the second one.
There we go.
Once again, the first swing, it actually makes contact with you, but it's easily absorbed by your armor, and you just sort of shrug it off, and then the second one swings and completely misses as you sort of take a parry step back, and it completely misses you. Next up, March.
Really quick, I healed 12 points from Second Wind, just in case you needed that.
Awesome.
Okay. So this is fun. Oh my goodness. Okay, so I'm flanked by these two fun-looking peoples.
Yes, you are.
But the entire time that this has happened, I have not really kept my gaze off of even when old man was trying to punch. I've not really kept my gaze off of mini Goliath over there in the corner. So I'm gonna kind of come back to reality for a second after having this guy try to punch me, basically, and can I establish that this is still swampy, correct?
Yes, this is very much swampland.
Okay. So if I... It's not...
What would you like to do, March?
I don't know. My question is that obviously this isn't the... Okay, I'm going to word this because I realized that I hadn't discussed it, or, like, let everybody else know about it. But the thing that Shreya had given March at the ship would not work here. Is that correct?
It would, yeah.
Then I'm going to do it.
And it also would not affect Olma, just so you know, because she's up in the tree.
Great. So then this is what I'm going to do. I am going to sheathe my regular warhammer, and I am going to take out the other warhammer that Shreya had bestowed upon me, and at that moment sort of swing it around my head, and I would like to smash my berserk hammer into the ground.
Yeah.
And in a
Watch out for the tree!
I'll swing it around and be like, hold on to the tree! And try and smash it through the muck into the ground.
Okay, awesome. So I'm going to make some strength saving throws for these guys.
Yeah.
Since it's my first time using it, you're going to have to fully walk me through this.
Okay, so
See?
yeah, so what is your strength modifier?
4.
4. Okay. Well, they both fail.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yes!
So, as you lift this thing up and you slam it down into the mud around you, it creates this shock wave around you, and the old man and the younger elf are pushed back 5 feet and are both knocked prone, as you can see that their sort of mud forms slosh back into the mud, and they have to take a second to try and get back up and sort of reform themselves. But you have pretty much cleared a path around you.
Okay. I don't necessarily want to go anywhere or do anything. I just wanted to at least push them back so I could breathe for a second. And then the only other thing I want to do is just call to Flynn and Kalik. What, kind of like to Kalik, but to both of them, really. Like, what the hell are these things? Also, Flynn, just a heads up. She's dead, so she's not real. Just a heads up. And then that's my turn.
Wait, I'd allow Kalik to respond to that if you would like to.
Some creation of foul magic.
Use fire.
I don't have fire.
We'll do that again. That was pretty cool.
Okay, noted. Thank you.
All right, March. That being the end of your turn. Actually, would you like to move, or would you like to stay where you are?
I'm very.
Now that you have these
I'm
things
very torn.
knocked down.
But I mean, I'll go just 5 feet to the left, so I'm still within 10 feet of Alma, but just slightly.
Okay.
Yeah, literally right there.
Awesome. Okay. With that being done, next up, both of these drow women are in front of Kalik and Flynn, and in front of you guys, they both, in perfect unison, try to punch one and the other. So, for that first attack on both of them, Flynn, that's a 17.
That hits.
And
Oh man.
Kalik, that is a 7.
That does not hit.
Okay, so Flynn, you take 7 points of bludgeoning damage.
Oh.
And then on that second one, Flynn, that is a 12.
Misses.
Okay. And Kalik, that is a 21.
Yeah, that'll hit.
That is another 7 points of bludgeoning
Man,
damage.
these things suck.
Kalik, as these both things, they throw a right and a left in perfect unison.
I hate you, but that was kind of cool.
was a tough lady.
You know her?
All right, next up, Oma in the tree.
I'm gonna run and hop the tree limbs over to the fallen elven looking one.
Okay.
And I want to. It looks like she has fallen kind of not necessarily in the mud, but on like the. Or is that still mud?
Yeah, it's all pretty much mud, but there is a little bit more of a kind of drier patch of grass.
Sure, I won't like sink into it if I drop down.
No.
Okay, I'm gonna drop down next to her.
Okay.
And that location, that like center part that's kind of burnt and crispy, I want to pull my fist back and punch as hard as I can into it.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah!
Okay, roll your attack.
Punch it.
That is a 24 to hit.
Nice.
Yeah, 24 for sure hits.
Okay. Seven points of bludgeoning.
Okay. Wow.
And I'm going to do a second punch.
Yeah, go for it.
14.
That hits.
And that is 8.
8.
Yes.
Okay. As you drop down and you just laying punches into this thing, you can see where your firebolt had hit, sort of on its chest, going up into sort of the area in between its neck and its shoulder. You punch right in that area, and by the time you're done punching, the shoulder is completely disconnected from the neck. There is a pretty much a fist-sized gap going across the chest.
Can I see into it? Can I see any kind of ring inside of it?
You just barely see the sort of the outer crest of one of these rings.
Okay.
Awesome.
I realized I didn't do those at advantage, even though she was prone, so I just rolled again to make sure none of them were natural 20s.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But none of them were.
Okay.
How much movement do I have left?
I am going to say that moving through the tree is... your movement speed is halved. So I'm going to say that's 15 feet of movement.
Okay, I want to go around the tree bark so that if she gets up soon, I'm hiding behind the tree.
Okay. Yeah, you're basically right at the tree trunk, so you don't really need to move too far just to get around there.
Okay.
Awesome. Next up, this elven girl who you had just punched sort of sloshes up out of the mud and sort of tries to kind of shake it off as best as it can. Are you specifically, did you try and hide?
I don't think I'm able. I can't take like a bonus action to hide or anything.
Okay.
But
I'm going to say
in activity, yes, I was trying to, go behind the tree and make myself harder to find.
Like on the opposite side of the tree?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Perfect.
Correct.
So out of sight, out of mind, it no longer cares about you, so it is going to run towards March.
Huzzah!
Thanks, Alma.
March.
Dumb creatures.
This thing runs back up towards you, and it's going to take another 2 punches.
I blow raspberries at it.
Actually, seeing your position, what it's going to do is it is going to attempt to grapple you. So you can see it runs up towards you. I'm going to need a dexterity saving throw from you.
From me?
From March,
Okay.
yes.
I don't know why I thought you were talking about Alma. I was like, oh, upon Alma blowing raspberries at it, it's like, and I'm back to Alma.
Not a chance. Not a chance.
Dexterity saving throw, yeah? 17.
You do not succeed. So as this thing rushes up and
Oh
pretty
no!
much just gives you a bear hug, It takes you with it a little ways as it sinks down into the mud and sort of reabsorbs itself into the mud just to drag you down as your feet are pulled down into the mud. And for the next round, your movement speed has been reduced to 0.
Fun. I like this.
Okay, next up. That is its turn. Next up, Kellic.
So, DM. The spell Create or Destroy Water says 10 gallons of water in an open container within range.
I was hoping you did not have this spell prepared.
Oh.
Can I?
Yeah, go ahead and do it. Just get it over with.
Oh, he's so sad. Aw, it's okay, DM.
Yeah, I want to destroy all the water within these creatures within our sphere. The two drow dupes and the little Goliath girl.
Yeah. Okay.
So I will as I look through the veil, I will grab one of those tethers and pull open the gap and allow this silvery spectral ash to pour through and say, "Apare." And Flynn, you would feel a sensation of the air changing temperature and texture, and probably like you would taste something metallic as the water is removed from this area within 30 feet.
Okay. So all of it's all of the water in 30 feet. Yeah.
It's 10 gallons.
10 gallons. Okay. So I'm going to say that is worth 2 of them.
Okay.
2 of the 3.
If you want to rule 1, I will just suck
He
all the
already
water
said
out of
2.
1. Okay.
He already
These
said
things
2.
I'm just saying.
They're
in fairness.
mostly dirt. If these were water creatures, I would say 1, but these are mostly dirt, so I'm going to rule 2.
right.
So
I'm gonna
they're
do
just
the two,
completely destroyed, right?
The 2 synchronized swimmers in front of us.
Two synchronized swimmers.
Nice.
Okay, so now I have to determine how much damage that does to them. Okay. So as you see, all of the moisture is just pulled and zapped out of them. They sort of shrink in size a little bit, and their exterior just becomes completely hardened and withered. They have the pretty much they're incapacitated for the next round. They cannot do anything,
Nice.
and their AC has been reduced to 0.
Ooh.
I'll look at Flynn and say, I can't do anything with fire.
Well, that worked.
I just shrug out.
As these things just completely freeze up and stop moving. And they just look like 2 statues right in front of you. Okay. Next up is the one that looks like Farlane. All right, this thing is just focused on Shreya. Shreya, how high off the ground are you?
I would say about, at the very most, as I plunged it down, like 5 feet. I'm very close to the ground when I tried to drive this blade into the creature.
That's right. Yeah, you did a melee attack. Okay. So yeah, it is going to pretty much just try and reach up and swing and take two punches at you.
All right.
That first one is going to be an 8 to hit, and the second one is going to be a 20 to hit.
The 20 definitely hits, yeah.
Okay. And as you can see, it's punching up at you. The first one, you sort of just tuck your legs up and sort of just get your legs up out of the way as you're still hovering above it. And then the second one, you can see as it swings around, it sort of uses the momentum of its swing to pull more mud into its arm and sort of elongate its arm just a little bit, just enough to actually swing out and punch you. That is going to be 6 points of bludgeoning damage.
Ah!
Okay, that's going to be its turn. Next up, Shreya.
Confounded creature. You will know my might this time. And as I rear back, whip around from the blow of the bludgeoning I just took, take take both my hands on it, grip extra tight, and then just try to swing straight through this thing, the torso of it.
Okay, yeah, make an attack.
All right. There's a 16 hit.
16
All
hits,
right.
yeah.
That's going to be 3d6 fire damage. So let's see what that does.
Oof.
Oh.
That's a lot of damage.
Oof.
That is a total of 12 points of fire damage.
Okay, 12
Nice.
points.
Very good. Big hit.
It's fire too. That messes them up.
Dehydration does too.
Very effectively.
Slash them.
All right. Okay. That being done, yeah, you guys look around and you can see a couple of these things. The one that looks like Farlane, the one that is a younger elf, and the two drow. You could see that they all sort of shake and like attempt to reabsorb back into the mud, but the pieces of them that have been hardened by the fire will not allow them to be reabsorbed back into the
Nice.
ground. And as you look over to the old human man,
Oh no.
he completely absorbs back into the ground
Ugh.
Oh no.
Oh no.
and bubbles
No.
and steam as he
No.
is then duplicated.
No.
All right. Flynn,
No.
what would you like to do? You've got these two mud statues right in front of you, and you've got a young Goliath girl in the back.
Oh man. Do they look very brittle?
They do. They look very brittle.
I want to do stupid stuff.
Do it.
But I'm a wee lad.
Break
I'm
'em
just a wee lad.
apart!
Okay, screw it. I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna move down so I'm like in a line with the two drow. So I'll use my
Okay.
movement, and I think I take an opportunity attack from mini march.
Yes, you do.
Oh.
That's going to be a 19
M&M
to
for
hit.
short.
That'll do. That'll hit. How much damage am I taking for this stupid idea?
That is 6 points of bludgeoning damage.
Okay, I'm fine. I'm a threat. And I would like to. I guess I don't know. Maybe it would be better if I run. So now that I'm out of range of that one, these ones seem like they're frozen in place. I feel like I should be okay to move down a little bit. So that's 5, 10, 15. So I'm gonna move down. Like I'm gonna take a 5 feet back, and then I'm just gonna basically run at this one and try and push it into the other one to make them collide and hopefully break. I don't know what you want me to roll for that, but
I'm gonna have you roll an athletics check.
yay! I have a negative to that.
And
Oh my
With my
gosh.
run up, would
with
that give me
with
advantage?
I'm saying with the AC being reduced to 0, I'm gonna say you'll have advantage. That's
Yes.
how that translates there.
Yeah.
That's what I'm gonna say.
Great. I need it.
So yeah, as you bull rush this thing,
Ah! Natural 20.
What?
Oh!
No way.
Yeah.
natural
There we
20.
go.
So you take a stance, you dig your back foot in, and you get your arms ready, and you push off, and you sprint, and you shoulder check right into this first mud creature. It doesn't even react as it shatters like glass.
Yes.
And as you push through, the first one was a lot easier than you thought. Like that was pretty easy to get through. And you sort of trip, and as you realize, oh, you're still going, and you crash right into the second one as both of them are completely obliterated.
Oh my god.
And then I tumble and I get back up. I'm like, whoa, Calic, did you see that?
And to think you were afraid to come in the mud in the first place.
I'm amazing. And I look at the other one.
Builds character, lad.
Kalik, right in front
He
of
is
you.
now a mud monster covered in mud.
Kalik, right in front of you drops not only Flynn, but a pair of golden rings.
Ooh,
That's my turn.
I would like.
That is your turn. Okay. The old human man. He is going to...
Oh, no.
One of them is going to rush up to March. The other one is going to rush up to Shreya.
Boy.
And, okay, let's get the guy that's on March first. That's a natural 20.
Oh, no.
Oh, boy.
On that attack. So that is going to be 13 points of bludgeoning damage
Oh.
on the first attack.
Am I going to be able to have a reaction?
second
at this
attack-
at all?
No, you're not, because you are sunk down in the mud. The second one is going to be a 15 to hit, which I believe misses.
Correct.
You can cry out in pain if you'd like to do that.
I use my reaction
Yeah.
to cry.
Tears are free.
Use my reaction to go, ow.
That's it's a free action to cry.
Next up, the one that Shreya comes over to you, and you are hovering off of the ground, but it's still like as it's moving towards you, mud coalesces at its base and forms up and around its legs and towards its hips as its legs elongate, so it reaches up and its torso comes up to meet your level, and it
What?
takes 2
Oh,
swings.
no.
What kind of magic is
Oh,
this?
That's terrifying.
That's going to be a 17 and an 11 to hit.
The 17 one does hit, yes.
Okay, that's going to be 7 points of bludgeoning damage.
Ah! I hate the mud.
These things are tough.
Okay, that is their turn. Next up, March.
Yeah. Fuck this guy. She's mad. Now she's mad. She has been so focused on Mini March. She's definitely now she's just mad. So I am going to go ahead and I'm gonna do it again. I'm gonna take that berserk hammer and try it again and do another woohoo in this in this around my head and try and slam it down to the ground.
That's the power word.
Yeah, it's got to be that. It's super
Woohoo.
official, guys. Woohoo! Is how.
Okay. So can you remind me what that DC is again? What's your strength modifier?
The DC is 8, and then the strength is 4, and then my proficiency bonus. Where's that? Oh, there it is. 2.
Okay, so that is going to be a 14 that they have to beat.
Pretty good.
That is a 13. And that's a 6.
Yeah.
So
Yay!
Queen.
they both get knocked back 5 feet once again. They're knocked prone.
Okay.
And you could tell that they, even though they are expressionless, they are probably getting tired of being knocked on their butts.
So she's sitting there kind of like
On their muddy
Yes.
butts.
breathing heavily, just covered in mud. And I'm going to look over at Flynn and go, I don't know what you did to the other two, but fuck these guys. I don't like them. And they're little mud things, and we should do more of that to the rest of them. And that's
Okay.
pretty much-
And March, as you knock this thing back, and even with the berserk hammer knocking some of the mud back, you feel the mud being then pulled away, and sort of the grasp that was on you, on your legs, being pulled away, as you are now free to move around.
Nice.
Okay. Next up, the drow are dead. Olma, what would you like to do?
Same. Except this time I'm going to. She's back, prone again. So I'm going to run up to her and
Yeah, that's right.
I want to try to pry the ring free from her muddy body
Okay.
because it's
To
still
note-
exposed.
You did when you went up and you punched. You were punching at the dried pieces of. At that point, it's like dried clay.
Okay.
You walk up and you notice that section is still missing, but you have punched away all of the dried mud, and it is now fully its mud form once again.
Oh,
it hasn't healed or anything, but you just cleared it of that.
Okay, in that case.
So you can still reach in and grab it. It's still visible. Just that those dried parts have been punched away.
No, I don't need to do that. In that case,
okay.
I will stay where I am and take a deep breath and put both of my hands out in front of me towards the woman. Attach my thumbs and yell, "Fire is good, right, Flynn?"
Yeah, do fire.
As I release a cone of fire.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know.
So is that a
The
attack
dex saving
on her?
throw, but she's prone.
Ooh.
Is that disadvantage? Which is good because that first one was very high. Good for you, not good for me. Just for the record. That is a 7 on the dex.
Fails.
Nice.
So I will roll my wild magic, and I have to.
Yes, please
do.
Oh dear.
It's been a while since I cast a spell.
It has been a while.
Do we know what I have to beat?
I will say anything, since it has been a while, it just beat a 1. As long as you roll above a 1.
I rolled a 2.
Oh my
Whoa.
Every time.
I was so close to saying 2 also.
It's a good thing we reset that timer.
I was so close to saying 2. Okay.
Okay, so damage.
And that spell was Cone of Fire?
It's Burning Hands
Burning
at level 2.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah.
That is such a good spell.
It's gonna hurt.
Burning Hands
Love
at level
of Burning
2.
Hands.
Ooh, really good. That is 20 points of fire damage.
Jeez.
Holy sh-
Man.
Yowza.
So you just full on like flamethrower this thing, and it's just pouring on the flames. And as you sort of pull your hands back and the flames begin to clear, was there ever even a body there?
Jeez.
all you see is just this burned grass, that just this little swamp grass that has been coming up. Burned grass and just this clay that has been dried up of all of its moisture, and in the middle of it is a golden ring.
I'm going to walk forward and pick up the ring, but I'm going to look up at Marge and say, "Marge, maybe it absorbed into the mud? I don't know. Is there going to be 2 now?" And I'll hold the ring.
I don't think so, Alma. I mean, no. Is the tree on fire? I really can't deal with a fire right now. Is the tree okay?
The tree's fine. I was aiming
Okay.
down.
Oh, goody. Okay. I was like, I'm just like in such awe of like what Alma has just done. And I was like, that was pretty cool. Hope the tree doesn't light on fire.
Was that the one that looked kind of like Melleru?
Yes, that was.
So Flynn will just have like a moment of just, he kind of is like looking as it gets disintegrated basically from the other side. And then shakes out of it and gets back into the fight.
Okay. All right. And next up, the elf is dead. Kellic. Kellic, you've got Flynn, who has tripped right in front of you. You've got the 2 rings on the ground, and you've got a young Goliath right at your back.
How big are these rings? Sorry, just to, like, they were halos around the staff, but now are they like bracelet size rings? Hip
no.
size rings?
Yeah, quite a bit bigger than a bracelet. I would say, like, the diameter of, like, the gold itself is probably about an inch, but then the diameter of the ring is about 1/2 foot.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Interesting. Can I collect them? Will it consume my action to collect the rings off of the...
Free action to pick the rings up off the...
I will do that. Scoop them up. And then I'm going to circumnavigate this little Goliath girl to put myself in between her and human male
Okay.
A.
OHM.
And then I will once again giving a look at Flynn. I'll line him up.
Yeah. Go for it.
You knock him down. Cast destroy water.
You are at
on
the
two of
perfect
them.
angle to do that too.
Yeah.
And I hate you. And sorry, what was that? Did you say something?
All
sorry.
clone immediately.
I didn't catch that.
Okay. A giant black hole
Yeah.
opens up in the swamp and kills all of you.
Yeah. Okay. So the young Goliath and the old man completely dry up. Their speed becomes 0. They look like statues, and their AC has been dropped to 0.
Right on. And I will.
You happy with yourself?
Yeah. I'll now that they're dried up, I will step back 5 feet so I'll clear the path.
Nice.
Okay. And they do not get attacks of opportunity because, yeah. Next up is
How to make your DM sad.
just so sad. Next up is the one that looks like Farlane. That one it's going to continue swinging at Shreya. Shreya, that is going to be a 23 to hit,
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Jeez.
That got me.
and that's also going to be a 16 to hit.
Also gets me.
Okay,
Oh no, bird!
You'll be okay. You'll be okay.
that's 5 points of bludgeoning damage
He's
on
a
the first
hardy
attack.
bird, man.
How many?
5,
Mr. Bird.
Okay, 5.
and that's going to be 7 points of bludgeoning on the second.
Okay. So it's 7 and what?
7 and 5,
7 and 5. Okay.
12 total.
Yikes.
Wow. Okay.
Mr. Bird.
All right, Shreya, what are you going to do?
The visage of Farlane like touches something in my heart, and I have this kind of like longing wince as I activate the gem on the brazier.
What the? What?
And through the heat of the fire, or whatever I whisper, or whatever it takes to activate it, clench my fist or whatever it is, and I rear back around, and I whisper, "Send it to the shadows for good." And then I take one more, take a slash, another slash at its midsection with the flaming blade.
Make an attack roll.
What does this bracer do?
That is a 18 to hit.
That hits. Yeah.
And then that is a total of... another 12. That's 12 points of fire damage.
Okay. As you swing through this thing, you see the flame on your blade. As you swing and as you're carving through, the flame almost precedes the blade as it hardens the mud just in time for your blade to actually hit it. So as you're swinging through, it's like hardening the mud as well as shattering it as you're going through, as it completely breaks and falls apart in front of you,
Nice.
and this golden ring falls out and falls to the ground. Now, my question for you is, would you like to use the gem's ability?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm using it.
Okay. Awesome. So, Olma would be able to see this. Everyone would be able to see this, as none of you guys are really in melee with anyone. You guys look over and you guys see Shreya destroy this thing. The golden ring falls to the ground, and as it does, there's just a little bit of energy, just a little bit of a sparkle there where the creature used to be. And Shreya reaches out, and the gem on his bracer glows as he grabs that little flicker of light. And you can see that light then consumes over his hand and consumes over all of his body, just giving him this slight glow as he grabs this sparkle out of the air. And Shreya, you may now roll a d4 to get some hit points back.
That is 3 hit points
That's
back.
awesome.
Oh,
Okay.
very good.
As you you reach out, and before this creature's life essence returned to the earth, you were able to just snag a piece of it and steal it for your own.
That's insane.
I suddenly feel much more at home in the swamp.
Okay. Man, I was waiting for that. Okay. Next up, after Shriya's turn, the young Goliath is now not able to move. So, next up is Flynn.
Da-da-da. I'm gonna run through them again.
I would like to hold a verbal
Okay.
reaction to whatever Flynn is about to do. Just a verbal reaction.
Okay.
So do
You
I
got
do
it, you got
advantage again for like last time?
Advantage, yeah. Athletics check.
Ooh, that was a 3. Okay. Ooh.
Okay.
Ooh, 18. Okay, so 17 because -1 for athletic.
Okay.
And I run through them.
Yo,
Okay. As you run through, let's see where this guy's at. Okay. You run through and you completely clear through the first
As
one.
I'm running through the first one.
young-
Sorry, March.
And go, ah! And just say to myself, just say very, very loudly, she's already dead, she's already dead, she's already dead.
Okay, that's dark. Flynn, you plunge through the first one, and you're just able to reach the second one as your body sort of falls to the ground, and one of its legs completely breaks away. It's not completely collapsed, but it is just barely hanging in there. As you can see at this point, it's sort of starting to regain some of its moisture and its mud. It's not fully back yet, but it's beginning that process.
Okay, so am I like right next to it?
You are on the ground right next to it.
Cool. If I would be able to just move up 1, so I'm a little bit farther away from Kellic. I will stay.
Sure. Yeah, you could have aimed
Sure,
it.
I'll just be there, and then that's my action and movement, right?
Yes,
Okay,
that is.
that is my turn.
Okay. Next up. So one of these old men is going to he is going to the one that is now all dried up that Flynn took the leg off of. He is going to, you see the mud around him begin to bubble and boil as it begins to encase his form once again, not duplicating him, but just sort of trying to get rid of all of that dried mud as it forms back up again. It does still look very damaged from where Flynn took the leg off, but it is now able to move again. That is going to be its action, and it's going to choose to stay where it is. The second one is going to take a swing at Shriya.
Oh, jeez.
It's
Oh,
right
no.
there.
Oh,
How
boy.
you looking, bud?
Eldoria, give me strength.
That's a 21 to hit,
Oh, no. Yeah, that hits.
and that's a 12 to hit.
That second one does not hit.
Ooh.
That is going to be 4 points of bludgeoning damage.
That takes me down to 1 hit point.
Oh my gosh.
Is that like...
Oh man.
Do I...
You're still up.
Okay.
But yeah, you got 1 hit point.
Jeez.
All right. Okay, next up, March.
Damn it. Okay. I would like to run up to Shriya as close as I can.
Okay.
And I'm gonna go ahead and I want to be next to Shriya, if I can be.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, perfect, just there. And I'm going to have an internal debate as to what I want to do, and I'm going to go ahead and settle on reaching out my hands to touch Shriya. I would like to touch his wing specifically.
Okay.
And get him. I want to do lay on hands essentially. For
Yeah,
Shriya.
nice.
And
Okay. How many points are you giving?
I'm gonna go ahead and give him 7.
Okay. Try it. Add 7 hit points.
Oh, buddy.
And then I would like to do a bonus action.
Okay, what's your bonus action?
I would like to God, I've never done this. This is fun. This is fun, guys. It's fine. I'm okay. From here, I would like to try and do Sanctuary. I'd like to cast Sanctuary on Shreya.
No way. That's sweet.
Okay.
It's a bonus action?
It says it is.
Yeah. I believe Sanctuary is a bonus action. Okay,
Jeez.
awesome.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so what does Sanctuary do?
You ward a creature within range against attack until the spell ends. Any creature who targets the warded creature with an attack or harm for spell must first make a wisdom saving throw. On a failed save, the creature must choose a new target or lose the attack or spell. The spell doesn't protect the warded creature from area effects such as the explosion of a fireball.
Okay, nice.
Nice.
So
Awesome.
huge. That's
Okay.
awesome.
So
Very
I'd like
cool.
to do kind of like try and sort of swirl my arms around and very rustily, having clearly not done this in quite some time, until it finally sort of swirls around and casting Sanctuary on Shreya. And then I just want to focus myself on the other. Is this the duplicate?
This is one of the duplicates.
Okay. Then I'm just...
There's
Which one
really-
of you is the original?
Yeah, there's really no way to
Yeah.
tell which is the
Then
original.
I'm just going to just... I
okay.
just want to be facing him, is all. And then
Awesome.
that is it.
Okay. Oma, what would you like to do?
I want to scoot myself in between both of them.
Okay.
But like the same distance. Like back one? Sorry. Like in a triangle.
Okay.
A little bit more. No, that's probably good, actually. That's probably good. And I want to kind of look back and forth between them. And I'm going to say, you're not real, but I'm going to find you. And cast... okay, so if it's a cone, geometry time. If it's a cone, and it goes out from me for 15 feet, it won't hit Shreya or Flynn that are on either side of them if I'm 5 feet from them, correct? If I'm 5 feet from my...
Yes. With the geometry of it, I'm going to say if you take one more step back, you would be able to hit both of them without hitting Shreya or Flynn.
Okay, I'm going to take another
Nice.
step back because I have the movement.
I think that's true.
Yeah, 15 feet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow, that was set up perfectly. Man, this is the time as a DM where I'm like, oh, if I just move them one more.
Right.
Yeah, we've had some real geometrical successes.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Time to get out the
When the
protractors.
track
So
starts.
Okay. What are you casting?
I'm going to use Quickened Spell first and expend
Okay.
2 sorcery points. 1 second. Yep. 2 sorcery points first, and then I'm going to cast this as my action, and then I will have one more spell as a bonus action.
Okay.
So, please dex save for me for Burning Hands at level 2.
For both of them?
Oh,
Correct.
geez. This is going to be a lot.
That is a 14 and an 11.
The 14 saves.
Okay.
And I believe still takes
So that's the one near Flynn.
half damage. Okay, so Flynn's... Oh,
Yeah,
that's
that one
okay,
probably
so Flynn
still
takes
is-
half
yeah.
damage. I have to roll above a 2. 1 moment. I did. Not as good this time. That's 8 points of damage and 4 for the one that's halved.
Okay. So because it is fire, it is still up to 8.
Nice.
Okay. And then I'm gonna boom that with a second one, this time at level 1.
Okay.
Above a 3.
Nice.
I saved.
Very good.
And 7 points of damage and 4 for the halved.
Okay.
Oh wait, they probably have to save again. They have to save again.
I was going to say that's the same spell, yes?
Yep.
Okay. So that's a 5 and a 9.
Both fail. So 7 for both.
Okay. And both of them crumble before your flame as it engulfs their body, and 2 more rings fall to the ground.
Heck yeah.
I'll find you.
Yeah.
We're now out of initiative, as all of the creatures have been destroyed. And as you guys look around, you see Olma, I believe you have one of the rings, and I believe the rest of them are still laying there on the ground.
Kellic has 2 of them.
I have 2.
Kellic has 2 of them. My bad.
I'm going to reach down and pick the one up from Farlane.
Okay.
I would like to reach, while Shreya does that, I would like to reach down and pick up the one from the duplicate that was in front of Shreya.
Okay. There are, just as a note, they're all exactly identical, and there are 7 of them, as there were 5 originally and 2 of them duplicated.
I'm gonna reach into my pocket.
Yeah. Collect the other ones and kind of go over towards
Pull out.
Shreya.
I'm gonna reach into my pocket and pull out a small pendant, and just kind of squeeze it between my fingers, rub it a few times, turn it over, and then put it back in my pocket.
Okay.
I would like to look at this ring and try and understand the nature of it. Is there anything on it that would... I don't know. Have I encountered anything like this before, or...
Make an Arcana check.
That is a 12.
12. Looking at this thing, you haven't heard of anything like specifically like this. It looks like most likely the rings are what conjured these things, and the staff might have just been a holder for them. But as far as you can tell, these were constructs without conscience that came from these rings. The rings are also no longer they're no longer radiating that magical energy. They're now completely non-magical.
Alec, why are these here? We're in the middle of nowhere.
I don't know, child. Some being has some quarrel with us, it would appear.
Well, maybe it's just like an alarm. Maybe anybody who stumbles upon it would trip it.
Why would an alarm take the shape of people we know?
Well, when we got close to it, I felt a little tingle. Maybe that's when it kind of got information from us. Maybe it would have just taken any shape.
I look at the place where the 2 drow women were disintegrated by Flynn's charge. I hope you're right, Alma.
Is there anything around? I mean, what could it be? If it were an alarm, what could it be an alarm for? Maybe there's something here.
I'm gonna look around. Is our cloaked observer anywhere in the vista?
Anyone who wants to make a perception check may do so.
14.
18.
17 for Flynn.
11 for Calico.
Okay. For those of you who rolled above a 15, you do see just in the line of where you guys were going, if you guys weren't stopped by this staff, in that same line, you do see a hooded figure standing there completely still in between the trees.
How far away?
About 100 feet.
I see him over there.
Is anybody else? Flynn, do you see him?
Yeah. Do we go for him now?
I just,
What do you see?
That person, I think, Shreya mentioned, I can see him in the trees about 100 feet away. You think maybe he has something to do with this?
If not, it's too much of a coincidence to let it lie.
Well, let's just go ask him then.
before we just go ask random people in the swamp, I just want to confirm that everybody here recognized one of these mud creatures as somebody they know or once knew or had known. Correct?
Yeah.
That's so.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Then yeah, we have to go talk to this
Shreya,
guy.
we all recognize him.
Yeah, every one of us hates Farley.
Yeah, we all know Farley. Flynn, how are you doing? Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. He, kind of stumbles, but I stood up and yeah, don't worry about me. I'm great.
You look like you could use a hosing down, though. You're a little muddy.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to be carried, but apparently, you know what? Never mind. I'm gonna start walking towards the figure.
I would like to go with Flynn, but I would like, if possible, to be slightly ahead of Flynn. Or at even pace, but literally a step ahead of him.
Yeah, I'll trail behind.
Same. I'll follow behind with Kellic.
Okay, so let's see. Just for my reference, Olma and Kellic are in the back. March is up front with Flynn just behind. And Shreya, where are you?
I'm gonna be in between, and we're heading toward this thing, right?
Yeah.
As we start toward it, I'm going to say, we don't know what this being is capable of. And as I feel the roots of the earth pulse up through my legs and then sprout out my hand, 10 good berries appear in my hands, and I give each of the party members 2 of them each, and then I consume 4 myself.
Kellic, what do these do?
I don't know.
They're tasty.
Give you nutrients.
Eat both of them.
I'm gonna eat. I'm gonna swallow them.
I don't.
Yeah, I'll eat them.
I don't think I need these. Do you want them?
Hold on to them, Olma.
What do they do?
Taste all right. Not bad.
Yeah, they make you
Shreya,
feel
what
better.
do they do?
They make you full, and they also restore 1 hit point per berry you eat.
Nice.
Okay, so you guys are all walking towards this cloaked figure?
Mm-hmm.
I gently put the berries in my pocket, and I try not to smoosh them.
Right. Okay, so as you guys walk up, approaching, you guys get closer, 75 feet, 50 feet, 30 feet. It is completely unmoving.
What?
Besides the slight sway of the cloak in the breeze.
Is it facing us?
It is facing you. You can see it at this distance.
Do we see any kind of face or figure, or is it possible that we're now able to tell that maybe it's just a cloak?
You cannot determine from this distance. It's a large cloak with the hood coming down well below where you would be able to see the face. The arms of it extending well beyond where any hands would be.
Can we tell from this distance, height-wise, what it's at? Is it...
Yeah, just shorter than you, March.
Okay.
Just shorter than you. Taller than Kellic, shorter than March.
Okay.
Big.
Keep going.
Kellic, maybe they need a good berry.
Oh, there! As we're approaching, I'll call out.
Okay. As you guys approach, you get 20 feet, 10 feet away, and as you get about 10 feet away, the cloak completely falls as if no one was ever even wearing the cloak, as it just falls to the ground completely. from behind you guys, out behind a tree, you hear a couple footsteps walk out, and hear a voice that says, "You know, I always find it interesting how when people say wanted dead or alive, and they give the same price for both dead and alive, I always wonder why even bother with the alive part. That's just what I wonder about. I don't know. Just a thought. What do you think?"
Can we see who this person is?
Turn around to look. Who is this?
As we
What do
I
we
would like to
see?
turn and look at this individual.
As you guys turn around, you guys see a large half-orc. This half-orc has got slicked back hair, just dark black hair. You can see his yellow eyes, these bright yellow eyes. You see he's wearing a brown vest that is over a loose black shirt that comes about to elbow length. He is wearing just some simple leather pants, and you can see around his waist is a belt with a myriad of items of different shapes and sizes, none of which look like swords or hammers or anything of a specifically weapon type variety, but probably a lot of magic items. Ulma and March, you guys see down sort of on a thigh holster, you see a black and gold dagger that's affixed to his leg. This black and gold dagger you guys recognize as the symbol sort of status of someone within Hollow Guard.
Do I recognize this individual, or have I seen this individual at any time before?
You don't recognize this individual, no. Neither does
Hi there.
And who? I just want to look at him and goes, and who would it be that possibly wants us alive or dead? Trying to play a little bit like naive in a sense.
Oh, well, Hollow Guard, of course. I'm sorry, I have been very rude. My name is Drek. I believe I know who all of you are. Please make yourselves comfortable. That must have been a terrible fight.
We're fine.
Must have taken a lot out of
We're fine, Drac. What do you want?
Oh, well, if you're fine, if you wouldn't mind. And he reaches into one of the pouches on his belt and sort of pinches together some green emerald dust and pinches it and rubs it in between his fingers and says a quiet little incantation into it, and then reaches out for the ground as a wood tree stump emerges from the ground and sort of apparates into place as he walks over and just very calmly sits down on it. And he says, I have traveled quite a distance to come and find you. I hope you don't mind if I rest my legs.
Oh, sure. Rest away. You don't mind if we just leave then, right? While you're resting, gather your wits about you.
Oh, unfortunately, that is not something that you would be able to do at the moment. My question to you is basically whether you would prefer to be returned to Hollow Guard, dead or alive. And I believe at this point, that offer extends to the Drow, the Halfling, and the Aarakocra at this point as well.
What do they want? What does the Hollow Guard want with them?
Well, they seem to be your companions at this point in whatever journey you all are taking.
Oh, just traveling along the way, just kind of caught up. I don't even really know who they are.
Yeah, we just found them. Maybe, about an hour before all this went down. Well, I can't recall their names, actually. But anyways.
But, I just, you've got to have better things to do than hunt us down. I mean, really? I can't imagine what value I would be to anyone.
I must admit you are not all my typical prey, but I am being handed a sizable amount of gold. An amount of gold that I, frankly, cannot turn down.
How much gold is that?
I'm sorry, what exactly do they want with us?
You have, how do they say it? Seen too much, I believe is how they would put it.
Huh. Have you seen too much? Like, do you even know? Like, what if I told you everything and then now you've seen too much too?
Well, that's the thing. I don't believe you even know everything.
So you already have seen too much.
Well, in a manner of speaking, yes.
So how come you get to live?
Well, I get to live because those crystals you all are carrying, those are what's called my friends.
What's called my friends?
They're more associates or companions, if you will, but yes.
At this, I bristle and like assume a defensive posture.
Can I look around and see if I see anyone in the trees surrounding us, or is it just him?
Yeah, make a perception check.
Okay. 8.
No, you don't see anything in the trees.
I'm sorry. The crystal is called my friends, or the crystal is my friends. Do you see how I'm a little confused? The articles make me a little confused here. Which one is it?
I apologize for any miscommunication. The beings trapped within the crystals are people who I have a vested interest in keeping alive.
So if we just gave the crystals to you, all would be forgiven?
Well, yes and no. I am going to take the crystals, whether you want me to or not. That's not really part of the question. The main question is whether you would prefer to be killed here or executed by the hands of more civilized people over in Hologar.
Obviously, I'd prefer not to be killed. Clearly. I'm sure there's some agreement we can come to where I get to, continue living on past 12 and you get your crystals.
I believe that can be arranged.
Now we're talking. How can that be arranged?
Well, the first step would be just handing me the crystals.
And what's the second step after that?
Well, the second step is me simply turning my back and letting you all leave.
And that's for sure gonna happen after we give you the crystals? You're not just gonna tell me that and then kill me?
I guarantee it.
I would like to tell if he's lying to me.
Yeah, go for it. Make an insight check.
Oh, terrible. 9.
Seems like a straight shooter.
Oh boy.
Oh man.
Looking at this guy, DM, is he? What kind of armor is he wearing? What's his kind of like stature? I know he's quite large, but is he?
Studded leather. You can see no weapons on him apart from the items on his belt. He does have the dagger on his leg. He just seems to be like very trim. He's a half orc, so he's got a big build. But he seems, very athletic in that build. But right now he's just sitting on this stump that he's conjured, looking very comfortable.
Well, seeing as we're to die anyway.
No, we're not gonna die. We're gonna live. We're gonna give him the crystals and we're gonna live.
I don't, not sure I trust that that's the case here.
I was worried about that.
Also, Drek, certainly you must be aware of the danger these crystals pose to, by my eye, to everything. Everywhere we have encountered something from these crystals, dangerous, frightening things have occurred.
Oh, so you've seen what the crystals can do? Then, I mean, you can only imagine, then, what I'm capable of.
If we're to die, anyway, as I suspect is your interest, you might indulge us in a better understanding of what's going on. Were you in one of these crystals, sir?
I don't see the harm in divulging a bit of what had happened. I was never in the crystal. I was the one who escaped, fortunately. And my companions were not so lucky.
And when did that occur? When were they physically put in these crystals?
Well, me and my associates had traveled a bit along the border of Kaldur, attempting to find, I believe he was a lieutenant in the army of Kaldur. He was the son of a locksmith. We were looking for his father, but we could not.
What? I'm gonna pull my my lockpicking set from my pocket.
Okay.
March!
Yeah.
March, do you think it's the same one that we were looking for? That they were looking for? Hologuard sent us to find them too.
I'd like to tell you no, but
There was a locksmith who we could not find, and so we went to the next best thing, which was going to be his son, who was a lieutenant in the army of Kaldur. Unfortunately, lieutenants are well kept within the castles of Kaldur, and we were overrun. A bit of our plan went awry, and the team that we were a part of sort of fell apart. We hadn't been working together for too long, and so we fled. And some of my team were captured, and I was the only one who was let go. Now, I assume that what had happened was after they were captured, they were kept in these crystals and being transported somewhere. And after those crystals were being transported within Kaldur, it was up to Hologuard to reacquire those crystals. And from there, I assume that's where your entanglement with them began. And he looks to you, Oma and March. He says, I assume that's where your entanglement began in collecting these crystals back from the nation of Kaldur and returning them to Hologuard.
Whoa.
If you weren't, much of a team to begin with, why such lengths to retrieve them?
Well, I have been told that some of the members of my crew were very valuable to sort of a religious sect up north. I don't know who they were, but they were sort of seemed to be in a cult of some sort. They were always praying and talking about the end of times and the starting of new things and a rebirth, and they just kept chanting about red wolves and things of that sort. And that's where we're going to end today's session.
Red.
We're going to call it right there.
What? No, we can't call it there.
Well,
A
we're
cult
going
of red
to.
wolves?
Yeah, just drop a red wolf.
You
and
can't
call
just
it.
Yeah,
drop
come on.
That's in the player's handbook. You can't just say it.
Man.
Well, that's what I did, and you have to deal with it. Until next time, thank you all so much for listening, and we can't wait to see y'all again next week. Bye, nerds.
Bye, nerds.
Bye, nerds.
Hey everyone, it's Ethan. Thank you guys so much for listening to that episode of Venture Forth. We had a ton of fun making it, so I hope you guys had some fun listening to it as well. We are on a whole bunch of social media platforms, including Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and we're also on Patreon. So if you guys want to help us out, keep this thing going, we would be so grateful if you guys headed over to our Patreon and just checked it out. We've got a couple of great different tiers on there that gets you some really cool stuff, from like shout outs to creating an NPC and a monster with me that will actually appear on the podcast. So if you guys want to go check that out, please feel free to. And thank you guys so much again for listening. We can't wait to see you all next week.